Hello everyone, and welcome to Katharine's Creatures, episode 19. This week we're actually going to talk about the other monster of the strait that pairs with the creature Scylla from last week, and this is Charybdis. Now, Charybdis is an ancient Greek monster, or has been described about other things, but I'll get to that in a moment. And before I lose track of it, I always want to say and preface that I'm not a linguist. If I butcher or mess up any kind of word or name, I do apologize in advance. That is not my intent. I am trying my best. Now, Charybdis is again a sea creature from ancient Greece, and it was one of two that lived on opposite sides of a small strait. And Charybdis, they were both Charybdis and Scylla were described as creatures, ginormous creatures that lived inside these rocks on either end, and the strait was small enough that an arrow could be shot from one end to the other. So there's not much room for a ship to get between these two monstrosities, and that has caused many a hero a problem in a lot of these great epics of ancient Greece. Now, Charybdis is described as this enormous finned creature. Sometimes it's simply a whirlpool, but that's because no matter what Charybdis's form, or lack of thereof, if you really consider it just the whirlpool, the monster is this sea creature that has this insatiable thirst. And so 3 times a day, Charybdis would open its mouth and suck in as much water as possible, creating this whirlpool effect that was large enough to pull down even the biggest of ships. And again, the problem of sailing in the strait and trying to get through these two monstrosities. One, the many-headed and limbed Scylla, or Charybdis, this giant sea monster trying to suck you down. Now, the strait that has later been identified, if you want to say, is the Strait of Messina near Sicily. And the fun fact that I found out is that there actually is a whirlpool in that strait. Now, the whirlpool is not actually that big. Only like the smallest of ships should actually worry when it opens up and starts sucking in water. But as for the stories and the mythos, Charybdis was this huge creature and terrifying, and people tried their best to avoid this area of the waters when they were traveling. Now, I don't know if originally Charybdis was never given parentage. I saw a note somewhere that said it was actually the later myths that did so, but I have to verify that one for me. But the parentage of Charybdis, because like many a creature in Greek mythology, poor Charybdis was not originally a monster, but a unfortunate being that was transformed by an angry god. Now, Charybdis's original father was Poseidon, the god of the sea, and mother in many lore was Gaia, the goddess of the earth. And so she originally was this beautiful entity running around, and in one of the biggest stories, one of the 2 versions of how she became the monster she was, is that she actually helped her father because her father asked her to. So she was being a good daughter and helped her father claim more land away from Zeus. She did that by pushing the water of the oceans onto land and expanding the sea. Zeus did not take kindly to that act, and so Zeus bound Charybdis to the bottom of the water and transformed her into that many-finned monstrosity and gave her the punishment of being eternally thirsty. So 3 times a day she tries to suck in as much of the water as she can because she's always thirsty, and this is her punishment for expanding the waters onto land. Now she has to siphon them back in. Another lore or origin story is, again, she was this beautiful entity running around, and her nature got her in trouble, and she ended up stealing oxen from the hero Hercules. So obviously a big no-no, because Hercules is a child of Zeus, so Zeus was not happy and again bound her and transformed her into the monster at the bottom of the ocean. So 2 different origin stories. Now, She, as well as Scylla, caused havoc, like I said, to many a hero in some of the biggest myths, including Odysseus in the Odyssey, Jason and the Argonauts while they were sailing around trying to get the Golden Fleece, and my goodness, I'm blanking right now. Odysseus, Jason, that's a whole crew, and Virgil's Aeneid. So Aeneas, sorry, I blanked on that one. But all those heroes, great heroes of their time, had issues coming across these two and trying to survive between these two monsters that kind of guarded this tiny strait where the sailors had to get through. Well, now you know their stories. If you have any questions for me about this or anything else, post them in the comments below or message me on any of my social media. And until next time, Skål.